Welcome to another expert conversation on energy healing and personal transformation. Today I'm really excited to introduce our guest, Donna Riccardo, who brings a unique and powerful blend of skills to the table. A 30-year veteran as a professional speaker and trainer, Donna has presented keynotes, seminars, and training programs to thousands of people. She supports women entrepreneurs not only in becoming more confident public speakers, but also in reconnecting deeply with their bodies through breathwork and energy work. If you've ever felt nervous speaking, struggled to express yourself, or felt disconnected from your body while showing up in your business, this conversation is going to open up a whole new perspective for you. So I'm really happy, Donna, to have you here. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me, Anya. I'm really excited to be here.
Can you share a bit about your journey? What led you to combine public speaking coaching with some energy work?
Sure. Yeah. Well, it really kind of evolved because I was not a confident speaker. In fact, I was quite terrified of people. And then I got this message one day because I was really looking to see what I wanted to do next. And I heard teach. And there were no other instructions coming with that. And so at that time, I was a hairdresser, and I thought, well, I guess I'll teach hair cutting because I was a hair cutting specialist. And so I set out to do that, and a couple of opportunities began to show up. And one of them, the first one, was a very high stakes one, and it was, our salon at the time was, very high profile. It was, in fact, it was world known in the fashion and beauty industry. And we did a big show. We planned a big show with other famous hairdressers from other countries. And when it was my turn to get on stage, I froze. I freaked out, I panicked, no words came out of my mouth. And the owner, he was this like wonderful man, so gracious, and he gently takes the microphone and he says, "I'll speak for her. She has a soft voice." And it was mortifying, but he did that, and I was doing a haircutting demonstration, and I only had to talk about what I was doing while I was doing it, but that was not happening. Like really, no words came out. And after that, I thought, well, that's like pretty horrible. That's terrifying, but I still really want to teach. And then another great opportunity to leave that salon and become a trainer that goes around to salons and trains other people, which is what I really wanted to do. That opportunity came, and then something similar happened. So, and that was after that I said, you know what? I think I can learn this. Like I need to learn this. Because usually the people in the beauty business, they're just naturally, they have that gift of gab, and they, get on the stage or they get in front of the others and, blah, 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 throw hair around, and usually men, big personalities. And I had to learn because I wasn't any of that. So I set out to learn, and that really led me to more of an inner journey, a spiritual journey. So, well, I did learn the what to do and how to do it. And a lot of people say, what do I do with my hands? I did learn that. But then it led me more inward, and I began to see the connection to spirit and inner work, to what comes out of your mouth and connecting with others, because that's ultimately what it is, the connection.
Wonderful. So it was a painful journey to get where
At
you are
first,
right now.
certainly at first, yes.
Oh my God. Okay, so you told me in a previous conversation that you work at the intersection of communication and body awareness, right? How does connecting to the body actually improve someone's ability to speak confidently?
Yes, it's huge. And I think that people don't really talk about this because I don't know any other speakers or speaker trainers that really talk about this because they're not trained in it.
Mhm.
And it just happens that that came together, like had a unique combination because that's just what happened. And what I say it is that they're not in their body. it's really two things. When people are really nervous, it's two things in my experience and my observation. One is that they're underprepared, right? They're just and they think they
Yeah.
are prepared,
Hmm.
and they're not. They're underprepared or sometimes not at all prepared. Oh, I'll just wing it. Well, you can't. If it's important, you can't, because one, the audience can tell. Two, that's going to make you more nervous.
Yeah.
But the energetic thing that people don't really talk about, that is probably more important than being prepared even, is being in your body.
Mm.
And people aren't in their body. They're in their head,
Mm.
talking to themselves, freaking out,
Mm.
the worst case scenarios, and they're not connected inside of their body energetically. Which also has them not be connected to their message and why they even want to be talking to people in the first place. So they're checked out of their body.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, I feel that too. When I tap with people and I use the tapping technique, people need to come back to their bodies because the problems or the blockages are in the body, right? In the energy field. It's interesting. So, what are the most common blocks you see in women entrepreneurs when it comes to public speaking? Is it more mental, emotional, energetic, or is it really about not being in the body?
Oh, it's all of it.
It's all of
I
it.
think it's different for different people, though,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes like I'm thinking of my friend, Diane, that I saw the other day, and she was helping me with a project, and I had a videographer here at my
Mm-hmm.
house and a few ladies over, and she only had to just talk to the videographer about me for this video for a couple minutes. I've known her for 26 years, and she's done Toastmasters and she's done some other things, and she's still very, very, very nervous.
Okay.
And because she's not in her body. But in her case, it probably would have been good for her to be somewhat more prepared. But there was no preparation for this. It was just a chat.
Mm.
But so it's really all of it. But I think that energetic, would come back to that, is probably the most important, because when people get connected in their bodies, they then can get connected to what's important to them. They connect to themselves. They can connect to other people, because you can't connect to other people if you're not connected to yourself.
This is so true.
So it is a little bit of all of it, but sometimes more or less, for like let's say the person who prepares a great deal. I have another friend who's that person,
Mm-hmm.
and she prepare, and then feels like sick to her stomach when she goes to do it, and she's freaking out, and she's very, very prepared because
Mm.
she's not in her body.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So for someone who gets nervous speaking on camera or on stage, is there a simple practice they can use to ground themselves in the moment?
Yeah, I like to feel my feet
Your
on
cat
my
likes to
yeah,
talk with me
I
too. Nice.
she does. She's very talkative, and she was sitting on my lap biting me. So I like to feel my feet on the floor. Just really feel that, like, that grounded connection, like through my body and connecting, on the floor.
Yeah.
And then feeling like, once I do that, then feeling my breath from the feet, from feeling my breath drawing all the way up into my body,
Mm-hmm.
more like up into my chest, not up into my throat, because when people speak from their throat, they're going to end up running out of air, and they're going to more sound like this instead of sounding like that. And so that's one, like the breath, the deep breath, and
Mm-hmm.
the feeling the feet on the floor,
Mm-hmm.
and help getting them out of their head and more grounded inside themselves.
Mm-hmm. And when they are more grounded inside themselves, what
Mm-hmm.
common fears are behind this fear of public speaking?
Yes. So people have a big fear of being judged. That's
Judged.
one of the big things they say, is that
Yeah.
they're afraid that people are going to judge them. And I have a very simple thing I want to say about that. Can I say it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Here's the deal about being judged. People are going to judge you.
Exactly.
Next.
All the time.
Next. There's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah.
Nothing you can do about that.
Yeah.
And the best thing you can do is be prepared as best as you can and be, like connect to yourself and why you're saying what you're saying to these people.
Mm.
So that's a big one. And another one is, what do I do with my hands? I hear that a lot. And the simple answer is nothing.
Yeah.
Like, just let them hang down,
Mm.
not stiff like like a statue, but let them hang down, because the hands need to go with what you're saying
Yeah.
and not be like flapping all around. And
Mm.
sometimes people say to me, well, I'm Italian and I wave my hands all around, and they're not Italian, right? They'll say that though. And I'll go, okay, well, here's the deal. I am Italian and I don't wave my hands all around because I had to learn how not to. So if I can do it, you can do it. So just let them hang.
Mm.
And it feels awkward at first because they're
Mm-hmm.
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And so they're moving out of nervousness. So that hand movement that
Mm-hmm.
doesn't go with what they're saying
Mm-hmm.
is all about them. And everything a speaker says needs to be for the audience.
Okay, this is interesting. Mm-hmm. So you told me you are trained as a Reiki and energy healer as well. How does that influence the way you support your clients in finding their voice?
Yeah, well, I can help them get connected inside their bodies,
Yeah.
and then in doing that, help them get connected to why they are saying what they're saying. Why is this message important? Helping them connect to themselves helps them connect to their audience, because
Mm-hmm.
the reason people speak or want to speak is because they have something they want to say and a
Mm-hmm.
difference they want to make.
Mm-hmm.
And so if their attention is on themselves, and their nerves and thinking, then they're not going to be able to reach and connect and make the difference that they are out to make.
Mm-hmm.
And so working with them to get in touch with what they're doing and why they're doing it
Mm-hmm.
is it's huge.
Yeah, absolutely. So you bring them more in alignment with their mission.
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. And so do you work with many different people with different cultures, different backgrounds? As you said,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
All different kinds of things, which is very interesting
Yeah.
because I don't know much, if anything, about most of them. So
Okay.
it's very interesting for me because I get to learn all kinds of interesting, different, cool things I would have never known or even heard of before.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
that's very fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And what do you offer? You offer one-on-one individual sessions, or do you offer a program? What do you offer?
Yeah, I have two different ones. I have one-to-one where if somebody, let's say they have a talk and maybe they already have it, most of it, and they just want help refining it,
Mm.
having it land for
Mm.
their audience, and having their stories make sense, and they just need some buffing up. So I have that one-to-one, and I just really call it whatever you need. And
Mm.
so it's just like a 4-hour block. We use it however they want to
Mm.
use it to be ready.
Mhm.
And then if somebody wants to start from scratch, and we start from scratch and we do that one-to-one as well, and talk about their
Mm.
offer and their ideal client audience,
Mhm.
and writing the talk together, and I literally type it for them and in full sentences it's ready to use when we're done. And
Mm.
and I have a few other things I give them to help them get out there and start finding their audiences. So that's all one-to-one. And then I have a group program, and it's called the Art of Speaker Mastery. And it starts with a 6-week preparation,
Mhm.
like a foundation,
Mhm.
because you just, there's other people probably have some of that, but these people are like, where do I start?
Yeah.
And so it's a 6-week, like the basic things they need to start getting out
Mhm.
there. And then I go deeper with it
Mhm.
after the 6 weeks are over, because the beginning is not enough. And that's where I can introduce the energetics and
Yeah.
have lovely people like you come and be, guests in that
Mhm.
program. And so,
Mhm.
and then practice time as
Mhm.
well.
Mhm.
So that's just a much more comprehensive group
Yeah.
program.
Okay. Yeah, this sounds so interesting, right? Because really, people, where do you start when you have never learned to speak? And you said it so nicely on your website. You are not born as a professional speaker, right?
No one is.
Okay, so if our listeners could shift just one thing today to feel more confident expressing themselves, what would you recommend they start with?
Well, I would say they start with taking the risk to do it.
Ah, okay. Yeah,
Take the risk to do it.
yeah,
And it's not going to be perfect. It's only going to get better.
yeah.
Take the risk, get out there, try some things,
Hmm,
and get the support, get feedback. I
hmm,
always like to say, prepare, even if you find a place to do short ones, service clubs are a great way. Networking groups can be Toastmasters, places they can begin to just get out there in a safe environment, doesn't threaten their business, if they're starting, right? And get feedback and, get in front of friends to practice or loved ones to practice before they go to the groups. Promise your people will still love you afterwards. And it's a doing thing.
yeah, yeah. The more you do it, the
Mm-hmm.
better you flow, and the better yeah. You don't need to be perfect. You learn not to be perfect anymore. You don't need to
Right.
be perfect. You just need to be aligned with your, as you said, mission and yeah, with your also spiritual path,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's
And
very,
to be in action and
yeah.
like that's so the more in action a person is, then their mind can't like take over so much. Because I always like to say manage your mind, but that's a little bit more of an advanced way to go, because if you're not in action, you don't know what you're managing.
Yeah, it's true.
And your mind is running crazy, right? So you can't, people can't coach somebody. No coach can coach someone who's not in action.
Yeah, true. So, for someone listening right now who feels like this really resonates, what would be the best first step for them to start this journey with you?
Well, I do have a lovely free gift for them,
Mm,
and it is called How to Make. No, that's something else. It's called Top 10 Speaking Tips to Keep Your Audience Hanging On to Every Word. And these tips are not your ordinary speaking tips. These tips, I actually pulled them from mostly from experienced speakers that I
mm-hmm,
saw do some of these things, and I'm like, that is a very experienced speaker. That is not cool what they just did or what they
mm-hmm,
just said.
mm-hmm,
And so some very high level things that can make an experienced speaker
mm-hmm,
take it to, up a notch.
mm-hmm,
And then also a new person can do these things right away and feel more confident and seem more polished than they are as a new
mm-hmm,
person, if they do or don't do
mm-hmm,
these tips.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So, for everyone here, I put this wonderful gift in the description box, and here you can get it. And just to leave our listeners with something to reflect on, what would you say to a woman who feels like her voice isn't fully expressed yet?
Ah, well, if she's not expressed yet, I would say, first of all, to look inward and say, do I want to? Like, do I want to express myself? That's
Mm-hmm.
what it really was for me. I mean, I didn't know what I wanted to say.
Mm.
I just had this like urge, this inside of me that I wanted to express myself. And I wouldn't even have had those words for it at that time.
Mm-hmm.
But I had something in me that I wanted to do that. And um, they'd have to get real with themselves. Is that what they want? Do they want to express themselves?
Yeah.
And then I think when a person has a commitment to something, because looking
Mm-hmm.
back I can see this is what happened.
Mm-hmm.
I had a commitment to wanting to express myself
Mm.
without having any idea of what that should look like.
Yeah.
And when you get committed to something,
Mm.
opportunities begin to show up.
Mm.
So that's what I would suggest. Like, get
Oh.
real. What is it you want? And honestly, I think that everyone does want to express themselves. I think they want to be heard, known, seen, and and it's risky. And you just like cough up the courage, because confidence doesn't come first.
Yeah.
Courage comes first.
Yeah. And it's so important for our business, right?
So
When
important.
we are able to speak and show up and share what we have to share and come from a place of alignment and true inner knowing, this yeah, it makes a difference.
Yes, and people want to hear what we have to say.
Yeah,
We don't want to hear, nobody wants to hear from the same three people
yeah,
over and over and over. You know, there's some big names, right? We hear them over and over and over.
yeah,
And then we're like, okay, well, I've heard that a million times. I want to hear something else, somebody else. Maybe they're saying the same thing, but it's somebody else's take on it because all of us have different experiences and different training and different skills we bring to the table, even if we're talking about the same thing.
yeah. It's true because you resonate with one person and not at all with the other person. No?
Mhm.
Oh man, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom, Donna, with us. And to everyone listening, remember there are so many different pathways to healing. You get to find the one that truly resonates with you. And if you enjoyed this conversation, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might need to hear this today. Thank you so much, Donna, again. Until next time, stay open, stay curious, and keep exploring your own healing path.